aggressive early on would be that Paquito and that Benedetta. Meanwhile, for Cignal Ultra, though, who do you think could get that first win condition, which should be winning the earlier skirmishes for Cignal Ultra?
That has to be Esmeralda in the lane. Potentially, it is. Oh yeah, it is Rhea going up against Flap. So it should be an Esmeralda winning the earlier game, because as soon as Paquito reaches level 4, or if Esmeralda reaches level 4, Paquito's gonna really have a hard time. So if anything, the side lane in the non-turtle lane is an important factor. But we have to take into consideration here that this is game number 1 in this best of 3 series. If Cignal Ultra decides to drop the ball in this game, it's perfectly fine. They can have their adjustments going into the second game. And we're looking at the standout players here for Cignal and Bren. It's Few and Imba DJ.
And I just have to say that you need to fear a man or fear a team that has nothing to lose. Cignal Ultra Warriors right now, this is their last match inside the MPL. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they're up against the M2 World Champions. For them, if they lose, this is nothing. But for Bren Esports, if they lose, they're gonna lose points, potentially putting them in the lower bracket.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the current scenario that they were at in Season 4, where they had nothing to lose and they were up against, if I'm not mistaken, it is Onyx PH. That was already way up top, which is relatively close to what Bren has right now. And it was Cignal Ultra that won that game, but that was a completely different lineup. Cignal Ultra can replicate that and put a lot of damage in the points that Bren has, and that's a pressure that you were talking about earlier on. Bren has a lot to lose here.
Yeah, I mean, Cignal Ultra literally has nothing to lose. If they lose it, it's just going to be another day for Cignal Ultra Warriors. They've lost already their important games. And right now, since this is non-bearing, it's actually non-bearing only for Cignal Ultra Warriors. For Bren Esports, this still is an important game. And I'm not telling you guys, if you're a Cignal Ultra Warriors fan, that you stop watching. I'm saying that Cignal Ultra Warriors, they've already got their backs against the walls for the past few days. And this is their final bang. And if we're going to see that stuff, I'm quite sure that it's going to be big.
Yeah. If you're a Cignal Ultra Warrior fan, a Cignal Ultra fan, even more reasons for you to keep watching them, because this may just be a spark of hope going into the next season of the MPL. Because finally we may see the huge adjustment that Cignal needs to secure the games. Then Season 8 might just loom around the corner with Cignal Ultra qualifying once again.
Yeah, and Rebo right now, got a typical Rebo play. I mean, this is something that you want to see when you're playing an Alice. You would want to just farm safely without blood flow. And Kekadot here, a little bit too aggressive, but that's going to be a Lapu Lapu, still fairly mobile around the map. And just right now, Cignal Ultra Warriors, they will be, I guess, being a little bit aggressive right here.
I just noticed it is a Lapu Lapu in the mid lane.
Wow.
I just noticed that. It was the Lunox on the side lane. Aqua Boy will be straying away from Rebo.
This is something new for all of us here in MPL, and we talked about the creativeness of Cignal Ultra Warriors. Might just bite them back, though. Kekadot has to go back after that one for sure.
They have to, and with Kekadot being forced to back off, priority for the turtle here is now on the side of Bren. I don't think Janice can even choose to go for the steal. The real world manipulation already committed by Janice, so that's already it's already worth it, zoning out the potential turtle seal from Cignal Ultra.
Yeah, and Few in that ultimate knew that he could just protect that turtle all throughout. Now, one perfectly placed real-world manipulation stopped 2 or 3 members from Cignal Ultra Warriors. And look at this, Kekadot bleeding once again. And first blood actually goes to Cignal Ultra Warriors.
There was really nothing much that Lussie could do there in the top lane. Rebo can't respond just yet. Imba DJ is looming in wait. Almost is level 4 and will be able to hard guard anybody that he deems fit. And I like how Cignal Ultra is trying to get information onto where Carl TZ is right now on the map.
And Carl TZ clearing out 2 camps at the same time. What a big brain play, but one does will get stolen by Aqua Boy though. That could have been a 2-camp rotation coming in from Bren Esports, but Aqua Boy knew better. That's just a small win for Cignal Ultra Warriors. The first blood was way better, but if we look at the gold score right now, Bren Esports is still keeping up.
Still keeping up, all things relatively even here for both of these teams. Save for the first blood, the Cignal Ultra save. We're about to expect a fight to break out in all parts of the map. Speaking of which, Gekendot almost connects onto Few. The real world manipulation will be forced out. Carl Teasy might just very well take down Gekendot, but that is a complete disengage. Manages to make it out alive, barely, but they are eyeing out the orange buff.
Oh, no.
The knockout punch connects onto Janus, and he gets taken out.
I don't think that Bren Esports wanted that kill anyway, but the Ling was there. They just had to take it. That was a little bit of misplaced cores out there for Cignal Ultra. I hope they don't do that again.
That is exactly what they need to do. And the saying goes, the more you are ahead, the more you have to stay ahead of your opponent. And that is not what Cignal Ultra is doing.
And Gekendot in the mid lane again bleeding. This creativity of theirs, the Lapu Lapu in the mid lane has not been great so far. It's always just the Lapu Lapu getting poked out real hard. And it's going to be hard for them to continue with this game if their mid lane can't anchor it.
Yeah, and with just the way that Bren Esports has been playing across the map, we can expect them to transition well into the mid game. As I say that, they do manage to get a stun up onto Few. Not a lot of damage on Few, and Gekendot should be able to win out this duel, but he manages to make it out alive.
Oh.
1 HP in the dream for Gekendot.
Man, that could have been a kill for Bren Esports, but you know, the Lapu Lapu's a fairly durable hero. Even in the mid lane, he has been bleeding a lot, but no death so far. It's just giving him less time to farm. Now for Cignal Ultra Warriors, for Cignal Ultra rather, they could go for a 1v1
Here's the
here.
duel I've been talking about. Rhea is a problem here against Flap TV.
Oh no, the
with
lane.
Esmeralda. Janus will be joining in. Tempest of Blades for the knockup and the eventual kill secured by Rhea.
Yeah, Cignal Ultra, they're rotating quite well with the Ling now. After a small blunder that did give Bren Esports the lead, they finally got a clean kill down bot. Now, they could potentially get Carl Teasy here, but Carl Teasy, that's going to be too mobile for them to take.
Yeah, and he will start to become a problem. Give it 2-3 more minutes, Carl Teasy will be looking for fights, looking for assassinations.
Look at that.
Speaking of which, that's the flicker forced onto Emba DJ. That's 2 minutes without any maneuverabilities for him.
Yeah, and Electro Final Blow was available to take for Carl Teasy, but
There's
he
the
uses
Electro
it.
Final Blow for the top lane against Aqua Boy. Order Brilliance used. Not going to be able to clear out the tank wave.
Barrier, the
Hardguard
barrier.
will come in, but that is not enough.
Oh my god, Cignal Ultra Warriors, they almost got that 3v1 play, but Bren Esports, they knew their damage. They knew that they could afford to see the Heart Guard and live to tell another day, but look at this, Flap Teasy.
It's a 3v1 on the flip side as they take him out without any problems.
That was a great cross-map play coming in from Cignal Ultra Warriors. After that trade in the top side, they wanted to get even in the bottom lane, but sadly for them, they weren't able to take any other objective other than that kill. And this is very important to take note of because Bren Esports, whenever they get a kill, they steal an objective away. Either a turret, either a camp, either the turtle. No turtles yet, but they always get an objective after getting kills. For Cignal Ultra, they haven't been translating those kills to big objectives.
Yeah, that's typically what you should be doing as a team. If you secure a kill, immediately convert into an objective, but the case for Cignal Ultra right now is that they really can't respond as much because Bren Esports has a better team fight capabilities. As I say that, a team fight will happen in the turtle lane area. Turtle will be secured by Bren Esports, and that real-world manipulation will be forcing Gekendot back, and they're no longer healthy. Right now, Rhea looking for a play potentially onto Few. They will be backing off instead. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Janus already knocked out by the knockout punch. Use the Tempest of Blades. Hardguard will be used onto Janus. He won't be able to survive that, but DJ is going to be next in line because of that, and that has to be an easy turret conversion for Bren Esports.
Yeah, and Bren Esports, look at Carl Teasy. 2-0 and 2, 100% kill participation on Carl Teasy. This is insane. Bren Esports, they rotate with their core. They take their objectives with their core, give their core the gold that they need. And Bren Esports, that's their road to success. A 2v1 here. Gekendot will be surviving it.
Should be able to survive that unless Flap TV decides to go for the brush play. Meanwhile, Aqua Boy in the mid lane,
Oh no.
stuck between the rock and the hard place.
No.
Forces Order Brilliance. Carl Teasy is in the chase.
Oh no.
Gets the kill, but will pay for his life there. Imba DJ secures a kill onto Carl TZ. Rhea all alone here on the mid lane. Flap TZ looming over the wind. Lussie as well looking for a potential push here in the mid lane, but they will disengage.
With it being a 1-for-1, I would say that Cignal Ultra still won that trade. Cignal Ultra got Carl TZ in that trade for Aquaboy. Aquaboy was just 1-1-1 there. And Carl TZ was 3-0-2. Shutting down Carl TZ was a win condition for Cignal Ultra. Now let's look at the gold lead. 3K gold lead for the side of Bren Esports. That's still fairly good for the side of Cignal Ultra. They could potentially turn it upside down if they get one big team fight. 20 seconds from now, one big team fight could potentially happen. That's going to be the Lord spawning, or perhaps the Turtle, that could just turn this game around.
Potentially, but Bren is already... You know, we're seeing 4 members of Bren looming around the Lord area here.
Oh
They
no,
might
Aquaboy!
just catch Aquaboy off guard there. Managed to do a significant amount of damage onto him. The
Oh,
real
no.
manipulation will just wipe it out, but the hard guard just in time by Imba DJ. And Kekadot
Imba DJ.
also manages to make it out alive, and Imba DJ is just going to be protecting Aquaboy as much as possible. They will
Kekadot,
not
though.
the Lord. Kekadot will manage to survive, and this should not be a commitment by Cignal Ultra to in this game. Carl TZ does
Oh no, Carl
have
TZ
the,
is going in.
He does have the Electro Final Blow, will not be using it up. And Imba DJ just doing what he can. Janus will be rejoining in on the flight, does have the Tempest of Blades, but it is a gamble. That is nobody dying, the turret falling down regardless.
Yeah, and that's the turret. No kills for Bren Esports. Still a win. An objective going to the hands of Bren Esports. They almost got a kill on Aquaboy, but Imba DJ did save Aquaboy's life in that fight. Rhea, though, a 2v2, potential 2v2 here in the bottom lane, but looks like they're going to go and zone out the Lord
they get
instead.
few. That is a big pick, but Aquaboy getting a big damage onto him. Will get taken out by Carl TZ. Kekadot right now is being chased down by 2 members, but beautiful falling star moon by Rhea on the backlines onto
Janus
Lusty,
still
but he
alive.
does not have any HPs left alive. He got knocked out punch after knocked out punch there by Flap TZ. Beautiful timing from him. It's just Imba DJ and Janus on their own. They will not be able to secure the Lord.
You can't move around nicely if you have a Paquito ramming in the punches. In Bren Esports, not only did they lose few early, but after that, they eventually just transitioned into a great fight overall. And they didn't even have a big gold lead to begin with. Cignal Ultra just didn't communicate well. They had Janus on full HP for the entire fight. That just means that Janus weren't able to just enter and try to deal damage because he was untouched.
That's true.
And wait, there's a big difference between being untouchable and being untouched.
That's true. There is a big difference. Aside from the spelling, it's also the aspect of you just not, you know, I'm here. Come on, guys, come at me. They're not coming at him.
Yeah, and he's not dealing significant damage right now to Bren Esports to even notice him. It's literally Bren Esports is a senpai right now, and he's just noticing Janus
Yeah, and
at all.
Janus is like a tsundere girlfriend that nobody really wants to go into, and Bren just tries to win out the heart of the tsundere girlfriend, but that's not happening right now because
it's
Bren,
not gonna, he has a heart guard.
the heart guard though is there to protect his heart. But this is already Bren just knocking on the doors of Cignal Ultra, and there's no doubt that this may just be game number 1 for Bren Esports. They are putting out a lot of pressure. The Imba DJ is already low on HP. Will be forced to back off backlines. Janus and Aquaboy will not be able to get that as Aquaboy gets stunned up. No longer will he be able to
Order of
survive.
Brilliance.
Aside from that Order of Brilliance, gets healed up as well. Almost gets taken out by the second skill of Eve there by Few.
Yep.
And that's a stalemate, relatively speaking, but that's 2 all turrets falling down for Cignal Ultra. It's just a base. They get a stun onto Rebo, but at what cost? Not a lot of damage is being dealt here for them.
no,
Rebo's
Rebo
going to be
going
diving in.
in.
Does have the Winter Truncheon available. Will be using it to sustain a little bit more, and he forces himself to flicker out. Will be able to Love Lord out. And Rhea will get caught out as well in the same process. Meanwhile, Janus is in the back lines just taking care of his oranges to try to keep up to Carl TZ.
Yeah, great defense coming in from Cignal Ultra, but that only delays the potentially inevitable loss against Bren Esports. If there's one thing that they should do, it's to win this fight. Carl Teasy, he's about to go
Still
down!
manages to survive though. Janus looking for the potential kill, but he gets spotted out by the rest of Bren Esports, and they manage to get a kill on Aqua Boy as well. And Janus is on the run, nowhere to run for himself. He's caught between a rock and a hard place. He's just buying a little bit more time for his team to equalize the situation over at the lanes in the mid and the bottom lane. Rebo, meanwhile, will be trying to force out an issue here against Cignal Ultra. Flapteasy just waiting for an opportunity to go for a multiple-man knockout punch to knock a lot of people up, but they will go for Rhea instead. The hard guard will already be committed. Not a lot of damage here for Cignal Ultra left in this
The final game for Cignal Ultra if Bren Esports win, but they could go for another time if they extend this to a Game 3. Cignal Ultra fans, look at this draft. Look at the names of these players right now. This just might be their final game unless they win Game 2.
There are a lot of check marks that Cignal Ultra has to tick off for themselves. And Bren Esports, they just have a lot of creativity in the plays that they have. As we hop into the Land of Dawn for game number 2 in this best of 3 series, Bren Esports just needs that one more game to get that 3 points, the 3 points that they need to get a little bit more rankings up in the upper brackets going to the playoffs.
3 points is the biggest boost that you can get from one match, and Bren Esports, they smell blood right now, and it's color red. They want to take down Cignal Ultra. They want to get that 3 points and just have more fight into that upper bracket. Ben Sanity straight out from the bench, though, will try to stop them in their tracks.
Potentially, and this is what you want to see from a Hilda. Be able to just roam around and just be a nuisance towards the enemy jungler. But as the game progresses, it's not really the case, because I feel like the purple buff would be secure without any problems there by Carl Teasy. So if anything, it's just he'll just providing a lot of information. If the rotation is going to start coming in from Carl Teasy towards the orange, maybe his team could respond to that, but I don't think that is going to be the case.
I mean, rotations and information is quite important, but how you play around that information is even more importanter. It's something that you need to always take note of, like where the enemy jungler starts, where you want to just counter rotate and potentially give information to your side laners that they could be the first lane to get ganked. There's a lot of things that you could do with information, but you would want to secure a little bit more than information. That's always the play for a lot of our support tanks.
That's true, and the more information that you give, the more chances for you guys to actually play a little bit better than your team, betterer.
You know what? Thanks for casting mirror edge on my
important
badge, my important terror. But you know that's something that I would want to look at right now. The rotations coming in, the counter rotations coming in from Cignal Ultra. They already know where Carl Teasy is starting. What do you do with that? What do you do with that information?
Well, for Cignal Ultra, it's nothing. Just play the game as normal as they can be. And we're already seeing the struggle here on Rhea in the bottom lane. A little bit of a scuffle for the Little Wanderer there for Cignal Ultra and Bren Esports. Flame Shot doesn't connect from few. They get the knockup.
No. This might
the
be
Revenge
just it.
and the Rage the Revenge and the Bouncing Ball does connect onto Bensani, but it's not going to be amounting to anything. And he manages to make it out alive, barely.
Yeah, barely making it out alive, but the Hilda is fairly tanky, especially on the early levels of the game. The Kufra trying to find a way in Kekadot in the mid lane. Feel like Kekadot will be a little bit safer, at least for now, but Kekadot on this Cho, I feel like this is a Cho mid.
Once again, it's not the mages. The mage would actually be on to the hands of Janus in the top lane. Speaking of which, that is already the first blood on the side of Bren Esports, getting that 200 300 gold lead that they have against Cignal Ultra.
Yeah, and Janus won't be playing core this time. It's actually Aqua Boy on the jungle role with the Retribution, but this is not going too well for Cignal Ultra. Bren Esports already secured the first turtle of the game, and Lusty is just slowing down 2 people right now, while Aqua Boy will be, just farming the purple at this point on. Oh no!
We
The
might
yin-yang
see
overturn.
The yin-yang overturn will be committed. Will commit as well to that team fight. Wave the dragon onto Lusty.
Woo!
He's gonna get taken out. And
Another one,
gonna
though.
be forcing the issue here as Ben Sanity falls down. 1-for-2 trade. Cignal Ultra looking good in that fight.
And speaking of looking good, it's actually a
Meanwhile,
2-for-2
bottom lane,
trade. It's 2-for-2 trade. Bren Esports had a prompt response. Rebo with that Benedetta just secured kill after kill and now is standing at 1-0-0. And Bren Esports, they knew how to respond. They still have the gold lead. In Cignal Ultra, it feels like they're trying something out, but I'm not quite sure on what they're trying with that show mid.
Well, they were able to create plays there as they, speaking of plays,
Now
that's a play. Wait in the bush, wait in the pixel brush, and Ben Sanity just getting TP'd over and over by Lusty there.
Well, this is something that you have to accept at this point. The rage and the revenge lands on you. That's a 2 whole seconds of you not moving around the map, and that most likely means that you're gonna be a sitting egg the moment Few just rains down the feathered airstrike. Now Lusty will be able to find Ben Sanity here, but I feel like he won't be doing anything at all, just threatening the people with that lead.
And it's a counter cross-map play here by Cignal Ultra towards the bottom lane to try to bully Flap away. Was not that successful for both sides, as we say that. And Cignal Ultra, they're just trying to keep their cool, try to keep the lead by Bren Esports to a minimum.
And I feel like keeping the lead on the side of Bren Esports isn't something that you would want to do. You want to put that lead back to your side and Flap Easy. Just a few more punches and this could be Rhea going down. Well, it looks like there's going to be a fight here on the top side.
Yeah, the Wave the Dragon actually connects onto Lusty. Semi-big opening for Cignal Ultra to keep on the advantage here. Rebo potentially going to be next in line. Carl TZ going to be joining in on the battle. In the backlines, the Tempest of Blades will not be expended.
Just a 1-4-0 in the favor of Cignal Ultra. Lusty will be going down, but that's the Kofra, and he doesn't really amount to much at this point on. So Bren Esports, they're still in the lead by less than a 1K, but almost there, just around 900 gold. The Turtle will be the next big objective to take for both teams, and looks like Bren Esports will be establishing a exterior position around that Turtle because the Hilda already raced them to it.
Yeah, and Flap TV will relatively remain safe here in the top lane. Mid lane is not going to be as safe from Kekedot though because of the feathered airstrike.
Lusty will not be able to land that ultimate, and man, Lusty is, I feel like Lusty's taking it a little bit easy right now for Bren Esports. He's having fun, I would say. And you want to see that. You want to see Bren Esports having fun in this match. Yes, this is still very important to them, but at the end of the day, this is going to be Cignal Ultra's possible goodbye game, and if Bren Esports could be a little bit more fun to deal with, it's going to be a fun time for both teams. But Rebo, one more hit, that's the kill on the Claude.
That's a wonderful kill, and we saw a massive cut there in the bottom lane. That's already going to be converting everything else as a Wave the Dragon does connect on the Flap TZ, force a flicker out himself. The knockout punch will not be available at all. Tempest of Blaze will finally be committed by Carl TZ, not going to be converting into any kills whatsoever. And in the back lines though, Rhea will be joining in the fray, forcing Few to go for Wings by Wings.
And right now that is a stalemate, but looks like the fight will continue with that feathered airstrike going on. Kekedot trying to make a play here in the mid lane, but looks like they won't be doing that at all. Cignal Ultra, they're still behind by 1K. For Bren Esports, keeping that lead is the imperative way to go in just securing this game slowly but surely. Flap TZ.
Oh, they're going to try to go for a 1v3 here, but Flap TZ is more than capable of securing this fight. That's the revenge. Just catches by the end. Followed up with a rage. That's already the kill onto Kekedot.
That is a solid set coming in from Lusty.
And they might get Ben Sanity.
Might burns a flicker though. That's going to be 2 flickers or just 1 flicker being burned by Cignal Ultra. It looks like the turret will be the next objective for Bren Esports. And again, we talked about this in Game 1 Nomad. Bren Esports always take objectives first, and that's what gives them the lead.
The more objectives that you get, the more control you have on the map, the more farm the Carl TZ will get. That is exactly what Bren has been doing for the longest time in the MPL. And meanwhile, it may look like another fight. He has a defended airstrike. Will dish out a lot of damage to the kick. Out the way the Dragon does connect on the Rebo, but Rebo still manages to survive himself. The Rage connects onto 2, and Aqua Boy is already taken care of. Rhea, the only one left alive here in the mid lane. Carl TZ in the back lane, though. In the top lane, I mean, manages to take down Janice.
That's a lot of kills going to the hands of Bren Esports in a series of plays from both the top side and the mid lane. And Bren Esports right now, it feels like they're very much in sync. It feels like when they do things, they do so in perfect synchronization. They're communicating well. And this is the Bren that you love to see, but this is a 2v2.
The way of the Dragon onto Flap TZ, the feathered airstrike does dish out a lot of damage onto Benny Cutie, and if Lusty was already in position there, that may have just been another team fight converting into another kill in favor of Bren.
Oh, but they're going for the turtle instead.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a smart play coming in from Bren Esports, taking down the turtle instead, playing it safe, making sure that you just grow your lead as safely as possible. This is just textbook Mobile Legends from Bren Esports.
It's the, if we have Heath as the Mr. Fundamentals, this is Bren as the, what's a plural? What's a plural, Mr.?
Misters of
Mr.'s Fundamentals.
the fundamentals of the misters. But you know, going back to the gold lane, that's the feathered airstrike, but gets stunned inside that brush.
They will continue on. The electric final blow will not catch anybody, but Lusty will be joining in on the fray with the revenge, not really going to be able to follow through. The rage is available. The flickers will be expended. 2 flickers expended for that matter, as Carl TZ and Flap TZ secure objectives in the mid lane and cut the wave in the bottom lane to save a little bit more turrets for themselves.
Well, a small win for Cignal Ultra. They did get a kill on few, but they lost some turret damage there in the mid lane. And I feel like Bren Esports, they would take that any day. Heroes respawn, turrets don't, and Rhea will be cheesing his way out of the base of Bren Esports, and he won't survive that attempt to proxy 2 lanes.
Do it once, shame on you. Do it twice, oh, shame on you still. Good on them to be able to convert on that. The wave the Dragon already used up by Gekadon, and this is Ben Sanity potentially bidding his farewell. The Tempest of Blaze will be used up. No Yin Yang overturned connections there by Janice, but meanwhile the HPs of Aqua Boy will delete immediately. The knockup does not connect, actually connects onto Gekadon, but the Rage doesn't. And it is Bren Esports just commanding this entire game. 11-5 scoreline for now, a 0-for-3 trade.
If you count that Uranus kill inside the base, that was a 4-4 none in favor of Bren Esports, and that just grows their lead to more than 6K at this point on. We are 11 minutes inside this game. All the outer turrets for the side of Cignal Ultra are down. They're taking down the tier 2s as well. And Bren Esports, they're slowly ramping up the pace. At first, they were playing a little bit safe. Now they got an inch. They're taking miles. We might be surprised a few seconds from now. They might be taking... What's bigger than a mile, Nomad?
A nautical mile.
A kilometer? You know what? It doesn't even matter, because Cignal Ultra, they need to find something good for them. And finding that something good, it's going to be the hardest task for them against Bren Esports.
Yeah, that's a turret going down, but a mile is longer than a kilometer.
Really? You know what? Yeah, this just goes to show that I haven't jogged for a long time already. You know what? Speaking of jogging, though, Uranus will be jogging back to that bottom lane, just trying to farm up an equalized lane. And Cignal Ultra, I feel like they've already lost this game mentally. They need to reset. They need to be able to snap that cold streak. You know what I mean, Nomad?
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to do just that mid game, but if they can turn. If they can do that, they can turn things around here against Bren Esports. They still have the fighting power. It's an 8,000 goal lead 12 minutes in the game, but hey, they can still force team fights for themselves. We've seen them perform pickoffs, and they were very effective. Bren Esports just able to micro outplay
Yeah.
Signal Ultra more often than not.
Just one kill could change the mentality of an entire team. I feel like Cignal Ultra, they're looking for that one kill, that one big fight, that one objective that they could take away from Bren Esports and build from there. But looks like they're going to try to steal this turtle moment.
It's the Lord right now, though. That is the main objective. It gets knocked up by the Lord. The Lord is a 6-man and will be stolen away by Cignal Ultra. And they still manage to make it out alive as Kekada falls down in the process. But that is a 0-for-1 trade for Bren Esports. But that's as well the Lord on the side of Cignal Ultra. Lusty looking for a knock-up onto Rhea. They do manage to connect onto that.
This is a Uranus. It's a tankier one. And Cignal Ultra, this is the mental reset I'm talking about. Suddenly, they're back in this game. Steals away the Luminous Lord and Aqua Boy. He's feeling it right now. This is what you want. Cignal Ultra back in this game in Game 2 against Bren Esports. They have nothing to lose. In Cignal Ultra, they want in.
They're looking for additional wins here, Cignal Ultra. They are forcing Bren Esports to back off. The Lord has already been taken care of, as I see that. Carl-TZ with a tip of the blades, almost single-handedly taking down Janice there in the process. Knockout punch connects onto Rhea. We'll be focusing a lot more attention here. The Electro Final Blow will connect. The Rage does not connect as well. Well, the Rage is still available for Lusty. He can use it right now as the Blazing Duet connects. Aqua Boy does have the BMI available to exit out of the fight, but he will not oblige him of anything as Ben Sandy gets deleted by Sword Intent, and now Rhea and Kekada, they have to fall back. As much as Rhea is tanky,
He's going back again.
He can't survive this team fight here against Bren Esports. That's all 4 members available from themselves, and now Bren just manages to turn things around from that.
Yeah, just when you thought Cignal Ultra was like immediately back in this game, maybe an on switch after that Lord steal, it seems that they scattered right after. They could have just played it a little bit safer, not fight without the Lord. But Rhea, he's stuck in this place. He is a Uranus. He will be running away from it. But that was just a little sad for Cignal Ultra, if you think about it.
A little sad, but did you see the fancy footwork Rhea had in the bottom lane, bro?
Gotta say, that was
Good macros, as this is a good pickup potentially onto Flap-TZ. Big opening. HPs are low though for Cignal Ultra. And Kekada is no longer in a position to actually initiate any team fights. Rhea will just be soaking up a lot of the damage. 0-for-1 trade. This might be a game number 2 for Cignal Ultra.
Flap-TZ 30 seconds down. Rhea trying to look for Carl-TZ once again. He has to go back for now. They're going to take down their first turret. Oh wait, their second or potentially third. Their third turret of the game here if they take down the mid lane. Rhea trying to look for Lusty, cancels out the revenge.
And we'll continue on with the siege in the mid lane. Rebo gets caught by the way of the dragon, and this is going to be big. And they will secure that. But meanwhile, in the bottom lane, we see Carl-TZ split pushing towards the bottom lane, but he will be re-engaging on a fight. That's the Tempest of Blade.
It's a 5v1.
A 1v2. Potentially, it's now a 1v3. We'll get the kill.
Going in.
He does.
Insane.
The outplays from Carl-TZ.
And this is why he is an M2 World Champion. Carl-TZ going in 5v1, gets 2 kills. What an insane play from the man himself.
The man, the myth, the legend. This is an uncontrollable Carl-TZ. 8-0-5. The micros were real. That should not have been a link that's alive.
He should have paid the price there. He should have died, but just Carl-TZ things, my man. Just
Carl-TZ.
You know, if there's this is worthy of one sheesh.
As the Fettered Airstrike will put Rhea down into a low HP.
He's just going down with a Feathered Airstrike and Cignal Ultra. After even great plays coming in from Aqua Boy, Carl-TZ suddenly goes back in and tells the dude, like, it's my house. I'm gonna get 5v1, get 2 kills, and go out alive.
This may be the land of dawn, but this is already looking like twilight, as what Carl-TZ might say, potentially. We don't know. This is getting grim. It's getting darker and darker for Cignal Ultra in this entire game, as another Feathered Airstrike and a Sun Connection onto Kekadot will be forcing him back. He will no doubt fall down. The Lord is now wide open for Bren Esports to take, and they are zoning Cignal Ultra away. Few will meet a Ben Sanity in the brush. Ben Sanity trying to look for an opportunity here to spots out Lusty. Lusty goes for the revenge, connects onto Aqua Boy. No rage is going to be committed just yet. The flicker in and the Tempest of Blade to knock him up and secure the kill eventually. They will all turn towards the side of Cignal Ultra, but that is going to be a 1-for-1 trade. The Lord will not be taken care of. Flap-TZ already low on HP. The Feathered Airstrike will be used up. and they will be backing off, as well as the flicker on the side of Flapteezy, and just a fancy footwork is keeping himself alive. But while that's happening, Rebo is doing his job, securing the bottom lane inhibitor turret for himself and being a nuisance to Cignal Ultra.
And that's 2 or 1 inhibitor down coming in from Bren Esports. And now they could potentially take this Lord even more safer with 1 lane pushing down bot.
And this bot lane is wide open for Cignal Ultra. They cannot allow Rebo or Carlteezy to rotate, but he gets caught. The Tempest Blaze will be used up, but he's still going in for the kill onto Janus. That is a kill that should not have happened. He could have been taken out there in that instance, but the beauty of the moment.
There's something else. There's something magical about Carlteezy in this game. It feels like we are seeing glimpses or perhaps an even bigger vision of what Carlteezy was in M2, an upgraded version in MPL Season 7. And Carlteezy, I just have to say, they are playoffs ready.
They are 11-0-6 on this lane. Aquaboy does manage to secure the kill onto Rebo, but that's nothing at this point. Bottom lane is already being pushed up really hard by Bren Esports. They can focus their attention onto the Lord once again. The mid lanes are all shut, as well as the top lane, and there's really nothing much that Cignal Ultra can do at this point.
Yeah, and I have to commend Lusty as well for an earlier play that we didn't point out. He reserved the rage to cancel out the ultimate coming in from the Claude.
Kekadot tried to go for the flicker there into the Wave of the Dragon, but instead will focus on Carlteezy, and that the Lord will be secured by Bren.
Let's go!
As Few secures a kill onto Aquaboy, the jungler is down for Cignal Ultra in the next 47 seconds. This is looking grim.
You know, the third TZ brother. It's Bren TZ.
Because they are a brotherhood.
Yes, they are a brotherhood, but you have the TZ brothers. Might as well give the organization an adoption, a TZ on its name. What the hell was that damage? But Cignal Ultra, they take down 1. They delete away Few. This is some good news for Cignal Ultra. If they're able to take this 4v5 and win it, they might just go for the upset. Who knows?
Potentially. Lusty is charging up the revenge, looking for a valid target here, but will get canceled out by Kekadot in the back lines. They managed to dish out damage onto Flapteezy, but the top lane turret will fall down. Rebo can't rejoin the fight. He does have the Electro Final Blow available to dish out a little bit more damage. The Lord will be marching on over towards the base, and Cignal Ultra all have to wait for Rhea to go online. That's a mid lane turret going down as well. They're knocking on the doors here. Bren's just waiting for an opportunity to dive in. Look at Carlteezy.
Oh, they found
just
it.
In the back lines, waiting for himself to dive. Revenge by Lusty not going to amount to anything, but that's still the members of Cignal Ultra.
Here comes
falling
Carl.
down as Janus gets taken out by the Tempest and Blaze away. The Dragon does connect on